All right, what's going on, everybody? I'm here to talk about my first car ever. All right, the 2003 Pontiac Sunfire. All right, I got this car when I was 19 years old. I was in the U.S. Navy in 2004. Got this car fresh out the lot. My homeboy Mustafa from Cherry Hill had got a car from off that same lot before, and he suggested me to the guy so he can also get like kind of like a one of those, referral type bonuses. So he took me all the way out Hampton, Virginia. Yeah, out Hampton, Virginia, right on Queen Street. I think it was called Queen Street, right up down the street from where I lived at on Getty Drive. So he took me down the street and took me to the dealer. Had a nice Pontiac Sunfire 2003 fresh, boy. I'm like, dang, that's 1 year ago and shit. Like, yeah, that's just one last year. It was two options. I could have got the all white Jaguar, or was it the Cougar? Yeah, the all white Cougar. I wanted the all white Cougar because it had power windows, and plus it was all white. But then it was like, or you can get this one right here, the Pontiac Sunfire. It was like, you know what? Let's just get you the Pontiac Sunfire or whatever. I was like, all right, it's like it's cool, it's cool. The Cougar was 2004. The Pontiac Sunfire was 2003. So it was like, yeah. So that thing was fresh. It looked brand new, fresh and clean, just like how I look on this picture. Brand new, fresh and clean. You know what I'm saying? It didn't have power windows. You had to manually do the windows, but it had a sunroof. Had a sunroof, but all of that was manual. You had to open the sunroof manual. I think, yeah, you had to open. No, you can open the sunroof with the power or something like that. Power, yeah, you had to use like a button to open the sunroof, but it had manual windows, so it was funny. It's a four-seater, even though you gotta, lift the front seat forward and then you can get in the back. So it does have a back seat. So it can seat up to 4 or 5 people actually. It does look like a sports car or whatever the case. But this is my very first car. Very first car. I love this car, man. I couldn't when they kicked me out the military. Now that you know the story, you know how I got out of the military pushed me out. Now you know how connecting the dots about that whole Crip and Blood beef, and it was so crazy. And the Crips and Bloods on the ship was just so crazy, not wanting to calm down, spazzing out, looking at me funny and stuff like that. Kind of feeling like, who are you, Gibson, type of stuff. So before that happened, the captain got me out of there, man, because niggas was that crazy. So they just made it look funny. So yeah, it hurt my life and it hurt my future because they had to make it look funny. It's more like get them out of here in a crazy way, but get them out of here, instead of killing me and shit. Because a lot of niggas did die. They killed a lot of Crip and Blood niggas, and it's still the same way. Like, still the same way, same energy. And that same captain wasn't with it. You ain't gonna be. It's like you're not gonna be doing no Crip and Blood beefing on the ship with me, taking orders from random ass other set tripping ass Caucasian niggas on the ship, and I'm on this ship. The captain have nothing to do with that. I'm too fucking old for that shit. You know what I'm saying? Politics and shit. You know how some people don't do politics. Like, they'll tell you, like, man, I don't do politics, my nigga. They'll tell you what you're saying. I don't bang, I don't do gang banging and shit. That's the same way. It's like saying the same shit. So my captain was the same way. And like I said, I was known in boot camp by the 4-star rear admiral. She came up to my ship. I was in ship 6. She came up to my ship or my building, um, called ship 6. 4-star rear admiral came from 4-star rear admiral. I became part of her team. And then I ended up on the CVN 71. She basically orchestrated my Navy career, and I ended up being close to the captain because the captain was like, he ain't about no dumb shit. And then that's how I ended up getting, then I got known by the president, George Bush, then I got known by the Queen, and then that carried on to Obama. So that's how Obama ended up in office. It was a symbol to say, like, there's one guy here, and it was a symbol, whatever. I'm the background guy. Like, who was this president? Who's this black president that everybody is, you know what I'm saying? That's why Aunt Patsy loved. That's why Aunt Patsy had a picture of Obama in her room and shit. It's like I'm the background or I'm the backstage of the front stage, which is Obama. So and my Pontiac Sunfire in the Navy was actually a Phoenix bird, and we took that ship everywhere. It was me, it was me and Queen Elizabeth at first. And like I said, Queen Elizabeth used to have this big, huge map of the galaxy on some Mass Effect mess, like it's the Normandy and shit. That's what it was like. It was like the Normandy, and I was Shepard. That's exactly what it was like. So we would fly around all through space and shit in the Sunfire, which is, Mazali's daughter. All right. Kylie, and it's all connecting. It's all connecting the dots or whatever. So it's not, but then she was born, because I'm not knowing that there's going to be a extreme connection, like to the point where if I try to do what's right, or try to follow the rules and stuff like that, I'm gonna get pinned. So yeah, of course she was mad at me because I couldn't keep up on the payments of the Sunfire. I ended up working at McDonald's. I could have ended up keeping up with the payments, but I couldn't get a job yet, so I ended up working at McDonald's. I'm like, damn, I should have just kept my car, or I didn't want to leave Danielle and leave the apartment there. My ex fiance Danielle, which is grandma, which is Mazali's sister, is all connected. There's many grandmas, many drops of water in this thing, but the only person exclusive is Kylie, and I'll talk about the other, the middle daughter. I'll talk about her later. She's a cat. I'll talk about her later. We're getting to that later. But um, Kylie is close connections in me. She's the actual Sunfire car. She's the Phoenix that was with me in the military. We was, dropping niggas, like just really getting niggas out of here, basically killing niggas and shit. And we just basically outstepping them and shit, just staying out of the way, outstepping them. We had a lot of help, and that's what the captain was happy about. Like, we got real help and shit. Like, we got real help. My mind is on straight. I can outstep these niggas, get rid of these politic ass niggas and shit. That's kind of how we was thinking. And Mustafa we was all happy, but the Queen came and we was on that ship. So it's the 4-star Rear Admiral, then the Queen, and then that's when all of the presidents started getting on the same Pontiac, start getting in the same Sunfire, the same car I had. Um, and it was not just the presidents. It started out with the presidents, but it ended up being different political leaders around the world, from Prime Minister of China and Prime Minister Japan. It started being all of them. Like, before Vladimir Putin even got into the situation, it was people in our Sunfire car, traversing the cosmos, just like how Mass Effect was traversing. And it wasn't that we was trying to save the Earth or no crap like that. We was trying to find our way out of this galactal situation and find God, trying to find the Most High. Just trying to leave. And Queen Elizabeth was in charge of everybody. Like, she was the one in charge. She was the eldest, of all of the leaders. And it was just me and her, and we would sit. I'm like, you know how to navigate that map? And Queen Elizabeth, she don't have a face. She just look like a little girl running around. But she's not a little girl. She's a grown woman. But she's like, like a little girl playing with a map or something. And there's no faces. That actually was the beginning of the no face, if you want to be honest. That was the beginning of the no face, was Queen Elizabeth in 2004 when I was in the military. We was driving around everywhere in this Pontiac Sunfire. Now it was the Plasma Force GT8, but it always was Kylie. All right. So it always was just Kylie, her. But now she's driving in me, and she don't have to be doing all this driving around. But I didn't know that she was bad, that I left the car in the parking lot. She wanted me to take the Pontiac Sunfire and drive to Baltimore with it and keep it. Just fuck it. Keep it. Don't pay the payments. Keep that shit. It's the same as a statement to say, we stand together. But I did it the proper way. I didn't want to break rules. Let me follow the rules on this first run, and we'll get it back. So now we're in the process of getting it back, but I was asleep at the time. Now I'm awake. I just kind of like, I had to be on it, on point. Her, I'm gonna say Kylie. She's aggressive, very very aggressive, more than you expect. and she's a killer, before she was born. That's why when Obama had her and he's trying to kiss her, she wasn't feeling it. They knew who she was. Like, that's why she's like famous. Like, oh, this is the car and shit that everybody's driving, and this is the car, and she's not trying to hear it. Obama's like, trying to give her the kiss, and she's like, man, get out my face and shit. That's not it's not what we doing and shit. So Obama gets up there, gets the symbol, and then over the process of 8 years, he slowly learned that this is the way and shit. But he went through the 8-year term, and then after him, what is it? You know, different people get in office, Joe Biden, and then after Joe Biden is Trump. What was it? Trump, Biden, Trump, Biden, Trump. I forget, man. It's just the presidents, man. It's crazy stuff. But yeah, um, yeah, man. And even every president is in the car. So even China McClain in 2013, when we saw had to get Obama and the first lady, he was in a hospital. So it was like a hospital medical center in there, and he's like laid on a bed, and his face looked monstrous and stuff, like a kind of like a looked like a sun star or something. Face looked like a star or something with different, like how you draw a sun on a piece of paper when you're a child with the little triangles all around it. That's what his face looked like, but there's no light in it, and it's like he's trying to heal. So I'm like, okay, he looked like a star or something. And then First Lady, she just looked like herself, and Obama's healing or whatever in the hospital. So basically, he was there in the medical center of the car, as we call it, the car. But it always was the car, and that was Kylie. And I guess she was mad at me because I had left my in the very beginning. I left my Pontiac Sunfire. I sent it back to the dealer because I did it proper. I called the dealer like, man, I can't keep up with the payments, man. Um, like, what you want me to do and shit. Like, man, you know what? Just bring it to the dealership, leave it in the parking lot, and leave the keys in the ignition area, and we'll get it. I'm like, all right. And so I brought it up there and I left it there. But Kylie wanted me to take it, like, but I didn't know at the time. I was kind of real still. I'm 19, so I'm 19, 20 years old, so I'm still young. I don't know nothing. Only thing I knew is what I saw was there was very important people on this ship craft that we have, and I knew it was connected to my car. That's as wise as knowledgeable as I was. I wasn't more knowledgeable than that. And also, what happened to a lot of us, you know, we got thrown. A lot of people got thrown into the CVN 71. So let's say if you was on a USS CVN 71 Theodore Roosevelt, right, and you had family. When you have a visitation to the ship, your family can come to the ship and stuff like that. But what they do is take your family souls and use them for nuclear power and shit, for the metaphysical side of driving the ship. And the actual aircraft carrier is like a living being. It's a living being, and it has a heart and all that shit. So it eats people and shit. And it uses your soul for power to traverse the ocean or whatever the case, and to stay intact with the vessel. So you can basically, as you're driving a Navy vessel, you're also metaphysically driving it too, and then you going wherever you're going and shit. So yeah, it eats people's souls and shit like that, and they use it for fuel. I didn't know that. That was also Selena. She tried to follow me going back to the ship. She tried to follow my ass, and I stopped her from falling into the fuel chamber and whatever the case. She was like about young. She was about 3 years old or something like that. She was real young. I stopped her. So even though I was out of the U.S. Navy, I wasn't out of the U.S. Navy. It was just that the captain had to get rid of these Crip and Blood people and shit. And I was the holy one or whatever. So it was more like I get away. I get a chance because I chose holiness. So yeah, you give Gibson a fair chance and don't, da 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 da. And I got it, and I earned mine. Here I am today. Now they got to come back and check and whatever to see if I wasted my time or use it properly, because then it's going to be like a repossession thing. But I used my time wisely, and I came to the Most High. I'm a rabbi today, and I know the Most High, and I even met the archangels, Michael and Gabriel, as you call Michael the archangel. I met all of them face to face. So it's like I'm secure with them. I'm in their hands now. Nobody can take me from them, or nobody can take me from the Most High. I even met the Savior, Yahweh Shai, as you call Jesus Christ wrongfully. I met him face to face, you know, and I was able to talk with him, and he asked me questions and stuff like that, and see where my heart was at about mankind. He asked me a mankind question. He didn't ask me just a detailed, specific question. Like, how you feel about mankind? Like this thing called mankind. How you feel about it? It's like, man, it's a vast question. I don't know how to feel. It's just like it's just all over the place. Like it's all over the place creation. You can't really pinpoint anything on anybody. Like it's the reason why things is messed up like this. It's hard to tell and hard to know. And we was just talking like that. And he was like, hey, he's like looking at my wisdom or whatever, looking how I was talking, my heart and stuff like that. And while I was still studying, he gave me space inside of his suit, and I was secured in the suit. That's when the whole fight came out, when Goku and Frieza and them was starting to fight. The Savior had to fucking crush Frieza's. He had to break Frieza's face and shit. The Savior himself, Yahweh Shai, as you call Jesus Christ wrongfully, broke Frieza's face. Niggas is out here fighting Dragon Ball Z characters and shit. He broke his face and then killed him. Had to kill them niggas. Goku, Frieza, Jiren had to kill him. The Savior was like really out there killing these niggas. And it wasn't even a fight, it was a slaughter. Niggas thought they was gonna fight. Slaughtered the shit out the ass. It's like you never played basketball a day in your life. You want to check up and shit, but you 10 years old, niggas is 20. You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna happen. You know what's gonna happen. So fucking slaughter is not gonna. It's crazy. Yeah, but Kylie is my first car. Well, the Pontiac Sunfire is my first car. We've been doing this military work from the beginning. So yeah, man, it makes sense that we come back together now. She remember more than me. She remember more than me. So her aggression is strong. Her only thing is when when I was in the Navy at the time, I didn't know the Bible. I wasn't really a Christian like that. I knew some biblical things, so she was with me and stuff like that. So yeah, you can be aggressive because I'm a snot nosed kid, and I'm really like trying to find my way and not knowing about life. So you can kind of look at like let me see about this. We can check on them and see about them, and you got aggression. But if you did it right, it's just gonna turn into love. If not, then I'm gonna have to be one of those overboard ass niggas and shit. Because niggas did that shit on my behalf, because I wasn't with it. I wanted the holy path. So they killed them niggas on my behalf. The captain got saved. All these niggas got saved on my behalf. And they start running that shit. That's why they put Obama in office. Like, yo, on this one brown guy's behalf, they started killing these Crip and Blood niggas and shit in the Navy. Like, finally could separate that shit. And that's when Bush was like, shook Obama's hand and then ran out of there. I'm out of here and shit. You got it. It was them saying me, it's me, like you got it and shit, you run this shit. So then it was that. That's why you got funny people in office, and then you have people like Trump in office and stuff that can carry and continue the same agenda. You know, Biden, he just basically was a child. He was a baby boomer child that just belonged in the house like one of the children. That's all Biden was. One of the children needed to get out of there. And then Trump is back. He's one of the children too, but you know, it's just the children that belong to the soul house, belong inside the soul house, and fell out during the crash. But Kylie she's from the sun. She's a sun fire. She's not the sun itself. She's a daughter of the sun, sun fire. And in 2004, I did get a wife. That's how that ended up happening too. I did get a wife from the sun. That's how I got help. I went to the sun. So metaphysically, I went to the sun. I'm walking on the sun. They got flowers and stuff. I'm like, what the fuck kind of drink? Now, my mother always told me, or my guardian always told me, she was like, before she abandoned me all the way, she was like, she had did a pop up but didn't land it. So she did a pop up, and I was 12 years old, and I asked her about my dreams and stuff like that, and I asked her about things like my dreams and stuff, and she was like, yeah, your imagination is fake. She said, your imagination is fake. Don't believe anything you dream and stuff like that. It's just it don't mean anything. So my whole life after 12 years old, I'm dreaming dreams and seeing stuff and think it mean nothing. Like it's just nothing to. It means not like a movie. You watching it and it meant nothing. You just like turn it off and shit. They just acting and shit. It meant nothing. They not feeling nothing. They not going through anything. They just read a script and they was acting. It was fun to do, and that's that. Let's go about our life. That's how I was looking at it, like a movie or something. And niggas wasn't going through shit because my mother lied to me. You know, imagination fake. So when I seen the sun dream, I'm like this thing is real to me, but it got to be fake. It's fake, but it's real to me, and I just didn't know how to interpret it or how to feel about the dreams I was having, the metaphysical encounters I was having. So I went to the sun, and on the sun there was flowers and stuff. Like yo, I ain't know they had sunflowers and shit, or the sun had flowers and stuff on there, and they was talking and stuff. Like what the heck? And I was going down the aisle like a wedding, a marriage, like a wedding. I was like it was like a wedding, and I was going down the aisle, and there was flowers on the left and right side, and they was talking, look like the flowers off of Super Mario Wonder and shit. They just be talking to you, or whatever. Um, but they could say it's funny because they could say disrespectful shit. It's emotional shit like the guy. I'm still the guy, and like you gave the guy time. Let's see it. Let's check on him and see how he doing. But don't nobody like Mario. The sunflowers don't like Mario. Those flowers on Mario Wonder are the flowers from the sun, and you know that the sun and Mario never liked Mario. So when you looking at playing Super Mario again, you got to look at that. Hold on, who should I trust? Should I trust the sun that's angry with Mario that's trying to attack this nigga, or should I trust Mario? Should I keep playing this shit? So it's like who's the hero? The sun or Mario? So then when you play Mario Wonder, that's the trigger. These are the flowers from the SUN. And they're like snapping at Mario, like kind of like telling him, basically trying to let him know his days up, his days are numbered and shit like that, you know. But they be saying clever stuff and shit, or they be like nonchalant, just like kind of like popping shots. Like I don't really fuck with you for real, but I'm gonna say some random shit. And you're like, yo, these niggas look like they don't like Mario, yo. Like yeah, it's like saying shit like whatever. I gotta go back. I'm gonna probably try to do an edit with that with the flowers on Mario. Get some sound effects and shit, some voiceovers from the Mario flowers and shit. But yeah, there's flowers on the sun that look just like the flowers off of Mario Wonder, and they alive and stuff like that. And I was walking down the aisle and I had to marry one of the sun fires, and they're like a piece of the fire of the sun, which is a phoenix, and I had to marry her. So it was a wedding, and I got married on the sun. I'm like, what the fuck going on? Like, I'm a wedding or something? How am I getting, what the fuck going on? And I'm like, I'm not knowing what's going on. I'm 19, young as shit. What's going on and shit? Then from the sun, we went to the moon and shit, and was like walking on the moon. They was lights and stuff, but it was like, what the fuck is going on? I'm going from place to place, like in the stars. So I chilled out. I lived in heaven one, with the celestials, the sun and the moon, and I went to the Navy and shit. But the whole time I was married to one of the daughters of the sun, and it turns out to be Kylie today. And we went through the whole military thing together. That's how everybody ended up knowing how I was and stuff like that. And that's why when Kylie was born, Obama, everybody in America, the president situation knew who she was, Secret Services and shit like that. So they knew who she was, but it was like, who's your guy? And I'm the guy that, I'm Ray now, but I was the guy that she was with, you know. And that's why Obama was like trying to give it a kiss, and it's like, no, I'm faithful to my man and shit. I'm faithful to my husband because I got married on the sun. It was a real wedding, but I was thinking it was just a dream. Like, oh man, my mother said my imagination fake, so this shit gotta be fake. She never unsaid it either. Like she never came in later on in life. Like I know I told you when you was young that your imagination fake, but actually, things are just complex to explain. And she didn't come back or nothing. Nobody ever told me that my imagination was not fake because they probably thinking that there's no possible way that I can think my imagination is fake. Like how could you feel like your imagination fake? Because when I was 12, my mother said my imagination fake, and I just trusted her and shit. My guardian, Pre, she just told me that and shit. So I always went through life believing my mind was fake. So it fucked me up and shit. So it's fucking y'all up because if that fucked me up, so you want to take it out on me, it's really like your mother told you some shit you trusted. Of course you're gonna believe your mother, right? That's not some shit that you can read in a book, like that you could have read in a book at that time or something like that about your dreams and if dreams real or fake. So you gonna trust your mother on it. Oh, okay, imagination fake and shit. Ain't got no other source. Then you read in the Bible later that people had a lot of dreams that was like recorded. So I started thinking like, so how come these people dreams? So my imagination fake, but maybe there's not because they prophets of God. So maybe because they prophets of God, their dreams is real. But because I'm not a prophet of God, my dreams is fake. So it got to be special and exclusive. So that's how I'm thinking. So my dreams is just fake because my mother said my dreams is fake. So theirs is real. So because they prophets and stuff. So that makes sense. That's how I'm thinking. Y'all not thinking I'm fucked up and shit. It's like a person that's cripping and blooding. They can't calm down and shit over the red and blue. They just fucked up, you know. And you need somebody to teach them and help them undo that shit. Uh, so yeah, Kylie, not Kylie Jenner, but Kylie, Mazzali's daughter and Joseph's daughter. She is my wife and shit. I married on a son back in 2004, and she just was born. And I guess it's supposed to play out. It's supposed to play out the way it's supposed to play out. You're supposed to make it match, but how do you make it match? Now, before when I was 19, she's older than me. She's like a grown woman or some shit like that. Like she's like my age, grown and stuff like that, and I'm the young guy. But now on Earth, I'm the grown man, and she's like the young girl. Just and it's funny. I was a teenager at that time. 19 in the military. So it's like the same way. Like she's a teenager, just graduating high school, you know, and it's playing out perfectly how it's supposed to. That's how like I'm coming around at the right time. Everything is on time and in sync and stuff like that. Um, but as far as remembrance and emotions, there's just a lot that I have to talk to her about because it's also grandma as well. Grandma is in the physical form. Is like I tell y'all, it's many drops of milk in a carton of milk, right? It's many drops of milk that make up one carton of milk or make up 1 gallon of milk. So grandma is like the milk, the life. She's many drops as 1 gallon. So the one drop that I was with in the military was Danielle Marie Van Dorst. We got engaged. She was my fiance, but had to call the marriage off, and we parted ways. She came to Baltimore, gave me my stuff, but then we parted ways. But she was always grandma, you know. But she is a wingman too. She got wings. She got white wings and stuff like that. Big giant white wings. She'd be flying around and stuff. She was with me in the Philippines as well. But it's like, how can I put? I guess it's just too much. This is crazy. Danielle Marie Van Dorst. She never left me. She always was with me. But physically, we were together in the military days, and I was 1 year older than her. She was 1 year younger than me. You know, I'm 20, she's 19. I'm 21, she's 20. So it was like that. We was living together when I was 21 and she was 20 and shit. So like, dang, we 1 year apart and shit. Fuck. So and she's a little taller than me, but not too tall, too much taller than me. But she's a little taller than me and stuff like that. And but she's a grandma. She's one of the drops of milk, and that connects to Kylie's sister, the one that slapped the girl. That's grandma. So the emotions are still the same. We was rocking ever since the U.S. Navy. So Mazzali's whole family is the family that was connected to me when I was in the U.S. Navy. I'm not gonna say everybody was with me, but the people so far that I can identify, I know for sure was with me. That's Kylie and Kylie's sister, that slapped that girl or whatever. And the girl that she slapped was the sub for Danielle Marie Van Doors, okay? That's who she slapped. Like, bitch, I'm gonna slap your ass and shit. But they sisters and shit. It's like they're the same drop of milk. That they're both two separate drops of milk in the same fucking gallon of milk. So it's just stupid and shit. They like each other. They're sisters, something like that. So it's stupid. So she wanna say something, but she slapped the girl like, Daniel, you say something and shit. So it's supposed to be Danielle Marie Van Dorst. We were supposed to got married and shit. Like, why the fuck would you engage this nigga, but you ain't gonna marry him and shit? Like, why would you engage him and don't follow through with the marriage and shit and just leave him like that? Leave him. But I don't know, man. Maybe she didn't want to leave me stranded. Like, maybe, but it was a Crip and Blood beef going on. And even when I got out the Navy, they still was, them Crip and Blood niggas still was tripping and shit, mad that I squashed the whole beef and shit. So that's how I got out, because them niggas could not squash the beef. Them niggas was still tripping and shit. So the captain was like, we got to get him out of here and shit. So yeah, fuck my life up and shit. And so everybody around me is looking at me funny. So I never got any real benefits in my life. I never got a bad report or anything bad in my military career. Everything was good stuff, like promotional stuff, good demerit. Always got good demerits everywhere I went in the military. So when me getting pushed out, you can think wrong because you wasn't there knowing about that Crip and Blood beef and shit. But they've been trying to hold me up as best as they could, or best they knew how to, because that politician shit was so fucking crazy. That red and blue shit is so fucking crazy. It followed me everywhere. Now that I'm telling it, hopefully my life can get back on track fully. Because it's like, yo, niggas only did that shit just to hide me. Niggas only made me look like a bad person, or made me look like a problem, because these niggas was the problem. You know what I'm saying? And only people that was like with me could vouch for me. Like Mustafa and stuff like that. They could vouch for me and let you know, like, yeah, these Crip and Blood niggas was so fucking crazy that we knew it was something bigger and shit. Like these politician, red and blue, Democrat, Republican niggas was really running niggas, like having niggas beefing on the aircraft carrier and shit like that. Like kill yourselves and shit, like kill each other and shit. Like it was crazy. Politician ass niggas. That's why you don't ask a nigga who you voted for. You don't ask a nigga if he's Democrat or Republican. You don't ask them that. Because then it can cause a beef, and that's why you don't ask them, because it could be set tripping. You don't ask somebody who they voted for. Anybody can be in that office, Republican or Democrat. Yeah, but with me, it was that, man. I'm the guy. So I rode with the queen. I rode with the queen the whole time. So it was like I wasn't even part of the Navy. It was like, you have no place in this man's Navy. I like have nothing to do with Democrats and Republicans, Crip and Blood shit. So they pushed me out because I was the one that spoke out and ended. I'm telling you, it's a lot of niggas like flooded the whole shit. That was crazy. Left and right. Got right out of there. Got me right out of there. And then try to get my life slowly back on track. They were like, you ain't gonna be able to work nowhere but McDonald's and shit. Now I'm realizing McDonald's is a porn star. You ain't gonna be able to do nothing but be a porn star and shit. Like what the fuck? But I'm fighting that shit still. I don't know. I wish I could get my car back and shit. But if I can't get my car back, at least I can talk to her and shit. At least I can talk to Kylie, my Phoenix wife. It's funny. I have a Phoenix bird as a wife. It's funny. It's funny. So like, who am I to have a Phoenix bird as a wife and find out I'm Ray and shit? I'm a archangel, a 3-year-old archangel, that grew up on Earth, and now it matches and makes sense to be with a young girl, Phoenix. She's a young girl Phoenix. She's hot enough to fucking burn the fucking planet up, but she's just a little girl. So you can't just do whatever the fuck you want to do. But we now can do whatever the fuck we want to do, because we back rocking and shit. These Crip and Blood niggas want to bring that shit back, resurface that shit, and never stop being Crip and Blood shit. Never stop being Democrat, Republican. It always was the same shit. So we back rocking. It's all like we had to halt it, because it's like, who is he? Who is he to do something like that? So we're like, well, give him a chance to see how his life patterns out or flow out. Would he choose? So they gave me. I was 20 years old. They gave me 20 years, the same amount of years that it takes to be retired. So they gave me 20 years. By the time 20 years is up, we gonna see. So I did. I'm a rabbi. So now we back rocking. It's like restart the shit, or like press play and shit. We press pause for 20 years. Now press play again, back rocking and shit, killing these niggas like that want to be set tripping all the time. Don't want to calm down and follow the Most High. Like, you have a way out. You still want to set trip instead of find the way out with the Most High. So that's what is going on. So we put a pause on it, Secret Service work, and now we back doing Secret Service work, and and press play. Now that Secret Service work is celestial, is the heavenly host and stuff like that, as well as the demonic host, or the host from the host of hell, that all agreed to one agenda. It's just It's gonna get physical now. Like physically gonna be riding up on your ass. Secret Service, you ain't gonna see them coming type shit. All that SWAT team shit that you be seeing. You're like, where the fuck all these SWAT team ass niggas popping up out of nowhere, running, breaking up in your shit. Niggas never be real. That's always what I be thinking when I see shit going on, yo. Like, yo, it gotta be crazy because niggas could really come through with the SWAT team and just run niggas out of this bitch. But if you don't want to be loud with the SWAT team, because that shit say SWAT on them and shit, and they all loud and shit coming through, you could be Secret Service and come through and just get rid of niggas on some Secret Service shit. Quiet as shit. Them niggas control every fucking thing. Lights, traffic, this, that. Like, what the fuck? They'll set that shit up a way ahead of time. Stop all the traffic and make one path and shit and go through that one path and no traffic on it and shit. And when that shit is done, they move fast as shit too. So when it's done, they cut the lights back on, the traffic lights back on or whatever. And niggas, the traffic keep flowing and shit like that. And that was a long ass light for some reason. Or a little longer than usual and shit. I wonder why and shit. So you like everybody backed up like about maybe like about 3 or 4 blocks back and shit, or maybe more. So you don't never see them niggas coming through. You just stop at a traffic light, and you just going about your day. So that's how it is with the Secret Service. And they come through, they control all the shit, all of the fucking shit. And you talking about today, where everything is social media, cameras, TV now. Yeah, they will control all that shit even more. So it is like easier for Secret Service to get to a nigga, because everybody got fucking phones, numbers and codes and, IMEI numbers and shit. You got these little ass boy hackers and shit, like little random ass niggas that got no power and authority in America can see what you doing and shit. You know what I'm saying? Random ass niggas and shit. So definitely recognize that the Secret Service be looking at these random ass niggas, looking at the one guy and shit. That's why they kept me off the record, so that they can see who the fuck wanted the problem with me after that Crip and Blood shit happened on the Navy vessel. So they just kept an eye on me, a close eye on me, seeing who want to fuck with me so they can handle niggas and shit. You're not knowing that your problems are coming from the government from fucking with me. You thinking your problems are coming just because your problems is coming and shit. You ain't connecting it to me because I'm just this black nigger and shit. You never thinking that your problems or whatever is coming from you fucking with me. Now, only one person figured it out, and that was Rick Smith. He finally figured it out and shit. So that's why he pulled the Glock out on me. Like what the fuck? My problems is coming from you and shit. Like, if Holly had to tell him and shit. But he never knew the story, but had to tell him. He kind of was privy because he's Secret Service, but he's a child. He's one of my sons in the Yellow House. Chloe, y'all need to get on that. Rick Smith is, one of your brothers, and he's just a baby, but he's old in the earth. It's all. But he's yellow. He's a yellow baby. So he belongs in a house. Or whatever. Your little brother, Rick Smith. So don't be hard on him. He's just trying to figure out what the fuck going on. Like, where his problems coming from, and why, and shit like that. And it's me. So the story is that, that it was the captain gave an order to basically. It was from higher, from the captain, from the president, from the queen, to get rid of these red and blue politic ass niggas and shit. So you looking at just me, and the queen just rode with me and shit. So all of that 4-star, everybody just rode together. High ranking people all came together to do this thing off of my holiness. So all it was, is he holy or not? Like, is he holy to say that these niggas need to die? Because who is he to say that I need to die and he need to, that's all it was. Like, are you holy enough to say I should die or some shit? And yes, I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm holy enough to say y'all niggas need to die. And that's all it ever was. But nigga, we need somebody that's holy that can say, push the button and shit so that I don't get penalized for pushing the button and shit to kill niggas and bomb niggas and shit. So you got me. I'm here. I'm ready. More than ready. I'm not doing any sin or anything like that or transgressions like that. You saw my life, followed through 20 years. Here I am. It's just that I need a wife. And, I would ask Joseph for his daughter's hand in marriage, even for betrothal. Like, I can betroth her. We can be betrothed, like a spousal. Like, okay, if she's still too young in your eyes, graduating high school, ready to go to college, if she's still too young in your eyes, I still would ask her hand in marriage. As far as like betrothal, it's nothing to get off. It's nothing to get off the ground and shit. It's just more like, what's the story? So I'm still looking like I'm on the ground. I can get up, my nigga. I just need a reason to get up. But in the meantime, it's Secret Service work going on. So like, if we all part of the Secret Service and shit, we might as well come back together. Also, Kylie being we having the exact same mission. Like I said, man, we work together in the process of killing the Crip and Blood niggas and these red and blue niggas in the Navy. She just was born, and that's when Obama saw who she was and tried to give her a kiss. Like basically, I should kill your ass and shit. But like, nah, fuck out of here. It's not. It's not what's gonna happen like that. Like you trying to give a prophecy to this nigga as a baby. Like, nah, it's not gonna happen like that. He's gonna turn out good. So Obama like, all right, if he's gonna turn out good, come on, I'm gonna hold you and shit. Until I'm ready. Now I'm ready. Kylie is like, yeah, I need my husband back. And I'm like, yeah, I need my wife back. But it's like, you still got parents and shit. So you got to get permission still. You got to do things proper. And it's more like, will they know? Will they know I'm the guy? Or will they look at me like, you just some old ass man and shit, talking shit? But it's up to the parents. Mazalie, I guess. Mazalie is like Mrs. Wetman. Mrs. Wetman. And Joseph would be Wetman. He's like one of the Wetmans and shit of the ocean. They're the water people. But I don't know fully if Joseph is a waterman. I just know Mazalie is a what Mrs. Wetman. So she's a water woman. She's like an ocean. She's the spirit of truth, like truth. She's a spirit of truth, but she's an ocean and shit. So you can't look in her eyes and really you can't really look in her eyes. She's supposed to be just a black woman that's tripping and shit. You're not supposed to know she's really in authority and shit like that. You're supposed to look at her and be like, oh, she's just a nigger and shit. That's how you're supposed to see it. But when you see her as who she is now time to activate. Oh, you see me and shit. I'm the water. You know that I'm a spirit of truth. I hate niggas that tell lies and shit for a living and shit. I hate lies for a living, and I kill niggas that lie for a living. That's all spirits of truth do. It's blue eye people, spirits of truth that cover their blue eyes. They hate people that tell lies for a living, my nigga. That's what they exist to do, is to kill niggas that lie. You know. Once they know you're a person of truth, they don't care. They just rock with you like your spirit of truth. Some spirits of truth become acidic. They flake and they start being liars. They embrace lies to harm other people instead of you know, they embrace the shit, and they become acidic and they can't be saved. It's like you betray yourself, but it came from hating niggas and shit. Because they lied to you, you start lying to them, and then you became acidic. Your water became fresh water to acid. So you can't be. It's like hard to heal you from that shit. Um, yeah. So you got grandma who was like about to graduate high school, and she's the one slapped the girl. She slapped the other grandma and shit. She's the sub for grandma, or another sub, a sub or whatever for Danielle or whatever. And then you got Kylie, my wife, that I married on a son when I was in the U.S. Navy, so we can protect each other while I'm out here traversing the ocean and shit. Um, she's once they kicked me out the Navy, she had to be born. Like she came to be born once they kicked me out, cause I left the car in the parking lot, and I guess she was like, "Nah, fuck that," I guess I'm gonna find you and shit type shit, or whatever the case. She came with me, spiritually, but was born through somebody else, not trying to leave me, because we killed a lot of people together. We would be guilty together if that's the case. So you can't change the crew. You can't change the crew because we're the crew that started the killing of these Crip and Blood niggas, these red and blue niggas. So it's all about if I'm holy or not. If I found the true creator and I'm living for the true creator or not. If I am, we can keep rocking this shit. If not, we gotta die together type shit because we started that shit. We squashed the beef, and when we tried to squash the beef, we had to end up defending ourselves. It's more like, don't fuck with me. I don't want to hurt anybody. But since you want to slap box on my ass on some, you don't believe I'm cripping and shit. You just slap boxing me, and from you putting your hands on me, now I'm gonna kill your ass, and that's exactly what happened. Now I'm gonna kill you and shit. So we started killing niggas because of a lame ass nigga named Davies want to be slap boxing me, not believing shit. If you'd have left me alone, niggas would not have start getting murked and thrown overboard. They would not have start happening and shit. My homegirl from North Carolina, she was a twin. I seen her. I used to chill with her in boot camp. And she was like, man, I'm getting the fuck out of here, man. She went and got pregnant by a nigga so she can get out. Because niggas was set tripping. They was cripping and blooding. So she got pregnant by one of these niggas, got out, went back to North Carolina and shit. Like, fuck this shit. They ain't throwing me overboard. These niggas is crazy. They don't want to calm down and shit on that cripping blood shit. No, everybody don't do that shit. They had cripping blood and shit. Like, we had to stealth around the whole ship and shit. Fuck, we got to stealth around and shit. Sometimes she wouldn't even like, it was crazy. Or sometimes she'd come on the ship and I'll be there waiting for her, or sometimes she be there waiting for me, just making sure we good, my nigga. No funny business, just making sure we good because we came out of boot camp together. Like, yo, she didn't have a sister with her. You know, her sister went to a different ship, but she was like, yeah, yo, you're the only person I remember from boot camp and shit. Because niggas is crazy. It's crazy, yo. She got right out of there. Yeah, she showed me that she was pregnant. Like, she's like, yeah, I'm pregnant and shit. Oh, she was like, yeah, I'm out of here, my nigga. Fuck that. I'm gonna be on maternal leave and never come back. That's what she said. And back then it wasn't like, it was so crazy that you didn't want to do maternal leave and like come back for real. Like, niggas was dying. So you was like dying for dumb shit. You're not going to war. You dying for crippin' blood shit. So you really trying to leave. And that's how it was. Niggas really was trying to leave. And the captain was letting that shit happen like that, letting shit slide or whatever. Other niggas was just basically riding off of me, Gibson. Like, no, I'm with Gibson, my nigga. Because my man Nelson, he from Jersey. We don't do that shit. Mustafa, I'm from Baltimore. We don't do that shit. So I only stuck with niggas that didn't do that shit. Danielle, she's from Vacaville, California. But she didn't rock with niggas that was with that shit either. Like, yeah, them niggas from South LA be crazy with that crippin' blood shit. They don't know how to calm the fuck down and shit. Like, she's like Spanish, telling me she's Spanish and she ain't got shit to do with that shit. You know, she's like a white girl, but Spanish at the same time, like the librarian and shit. She's like 100% like a white girl, but she's speaking Spanish too and shit. Trying to tell me, like, I'm hearing shit. But we got to get back rocking and shit. Let niggas know, got to finish this shit. Got to. So with that said, man, it's a lot connected to that. I said what I needed to say. Said some special things. It's just more, this video was more so for the Mazzoli family. You know, Mr. Joseph, Mr. Joseph and Mrs. Mazzoli. It's for them. Also, Kylie, to know that, you know, how I felt and how things went, and to let her know that, yeah, you know, I turned out right. Just like I said, I wanted to be a chaplain. I turned out being a rabbi. Like, I wasn't playing with my heart spaces and shit, you know, so that, you know, she can like feel comfortable, you know, so she can wing up again. She can wing back up again, and we can start rocking. Now, like I said, it only can really go one way. But like I said, parents can get in the way or not know something that's going on with your personal life. Like, what is your personal reason for being on Earth? They could get in the way of that by just being parents. Like, you're just my daughter, so do what I say, which is understandable. But it's like, well, what's your personal fate? What's your personal mission being on Earth? Well, and then you got to tell, like, well, Obama and shit. Like, that was like, what's the issue with Obama? Like, well, that issue was there was a guy, and you got to tell a story and shit. Like, who was the guy that, you know, Obama picked you up about? What was that about? And it's me. And we supposed to get back rocking or whatever. And it's marriage. Like I said, we could not do anything without being married. The same thing I was trying to tell China McClain when I saved her out of Disney World, Disney's ant farm. It must be marriage. It has to be only marriage. And also in the Bible, you can be polygynous, okay? Abraham and Yaquab, as you call Jacob wrongfully, had more than one wife. Okay, Yaakov had 4 wives, and they were all sisters. You know, Rachel, Leah, Zilpah, and Bilhah. All right, 4 women. They were all 4 sisters. All right. So yeah, he married 4 women. They all had the same father and shit, and they were his cousins. They were his cousins. They went to his uncle's house, and it's not incest. That's not in the incest bracket. It's not in the incest bracket. Okay, it's a thin line with that incest thing. Leviticus 18 is that thin line. You look to see who you can't see nakedness to let you know who you can see nakedness. So that's the list of Leviticus chapter 18. So if people tell you something is incest, Ask them where did they get that from. If it's not Leviticus chapter 18, then they wrong. Okay. Um, so yeah, you're supposed to marry your cousin or consider your cousin before anyone else. But if not, you could be a special case. So Kylie and I are a special case. We're supposed to get back rocking and shit because we killed niggas and shit. We got niggas killed, so we can't really. Our fate is sealed. We can't separate from the fate because we took lives. Uh, it's just for her mother and her father to recognize that what was the connection with Obama and her and this, that, and the third. You know, when when they got me out of the Navy, they put Obama in. They did it perfectly right on time so that I won't be in there. I won't be in there when Bush is out of there. So they had to get me out of there. So when Bush got out of there, they can put Obama in there, and we can run this thing from the background because these niggas they did the political niggas took some Crip and Blood niggas, which is background niggas to them, and tried to kill their asses. Because if they kill the black people on this motherfucker, they gonna start killing the Caucasian people on this motherfucker. So they tried to use some background niggas to kill them and shit. That's how they took it. You try to bring some niggas from wherever the fuck in Cali to kill our East Coast asses and shit, our politician asses and shit. And some of the niggas not politicians. So they had to do this in the background. We want background and shit and get these niggas. That's how we had to do it. Had to stealth niggas. So they had to give me a bad record to hide me. Now that you know the story, I guess you got to get the bad record off and get me back rocking and shit. Because I'm in charge of the shit. I'm in charge of the whole shit. Obama had to be the front ground for me and shit. He was covering for me the whole fucking 8 years. And Trump is the Trump card and shit, you know, in case I wasn't. Trump is basically introducing the Trump card, which is me. And this is the Trump card, and now I'm out, and now here it is. Yeah, we ready and shit. More than ready. I'm more than ready now. You know, it's still stuff that needs to be learned, but I know the basics of how to get to the kingdom of heaven and how not to go to hell and shit. But my heart is also in the right space also. You know, my heart spaces is right. You know, um, my desire is pure. You know, the purest desire you could ever have. Heavenly Father, thy will be done, not mine. That's the purest desire you could have. You know, got that from the Savior and realized and connected that to my heart. Right. Not my will, but your will be done. But more than that, your desire, because what you will to do is not really what you desire to do. You don't desire to murder people or kill people and throw them in a lake of fire. That's not your desire. Your desire is that everybody repent and come back to obedience to you and obey you so that you don't lose any of your creation that you created. That is your desire. But your will is that y'all niggas are so fucking disrespectful. I'm just going to murk your ass, kill your asses and shit. So I said, Heavenly Father, your desire be done, not mine. Period. And so my desire is that his desire be done. That's what I desire. So I got the purest desire. So we rocking on that. I'm a rabbi. I know the basics of the Torah. So we rocking on that. Anything else is just detailed stuff. Like you really got to be hardcore into high level shit or whatever. So I'm ready. It's just that Kylie got to get ready. But not only that, it's more like her parents got to be ready to be like, I don't believe you and shit. Fuck that shit. You ain't gonna, he too fucking old and shit. So it's gonna be like, nah, we just gonna have to like camera this shit. You know, I watch you on TV, you watch me on TV. We just gonna have to take notes from TV and shit and just do it this way. Or they can be like, yeah, you old enough and stuff. You know, age really ain't that important in special case. You know, it depends how they wanna. It depends how they parent that situation. You know, if they say yes, no, utterly say no, utterly say yes. It depends how they feel still, because the Most High give them parents that permission or whatever. But at least they know, what the whole issue is with the Obama and all of that stuff and why you important like that. We kill people. That's why. So if I don't get with Mazali, they gonna get rocking, and they gonna all of these people around. What's important with Kylie? So if you don't be on it, yeah, Kylie and I, we kill people, and they're gonna be after her one way or another. So that's also what grandma knows. while she slapped the white girl. There's no need in hiding it. We killed y'all niggas and shit. We just look like little girls now. We had to come and show our face, but we killed y'all asses through y'all. We did that. Y'all tripping and shit. So we had to let you know. Had to wake Danielle up. Danielle, get up too, because you part of it. We killed these niggas and shit. Because they tripping over red and blue. That, had to get rid of them and shit. So we can't hide who we are, and we can't separate because we're one crew. I can't leave my wife, my Pontiac Sunfire. I need my Sunfire back. Whatever I gotta do, that's right to do. I always say that. Whatever I gotta do, that's right to do to get her back. Now, you saying the job and stuff like that. Okay, I don't have no problem with that. But can we also be mindful of the people that's in the way too? You know what I'm saying? Can we be mindful? I'm not lazy. I do cable, but we also know niggas is in the way. So if I could be on the scene and we can do TV work and shit, like how y'all do social media work, I can just jump in a double dutch, man. I mean, come on now, just double dutch me. I can just jump in that. I can jump in there, man. Jump in the double dutch. I got my bubble yum. Get my bubble yum, chew my bubble yum. Got my bazookas in my pocket and shit. Be careful. Let me get in the double dutch and shit. I ain't forget. I got a couple of jacks in my pocket. Let me get my jacks out my pocket first. Hold on, got my jacks. Don't want to puncture myself. Get the jacks out my pocket and shit. Can you hold my jack ball and shit? Yeah. And jump in this double dutch so y'all can know that we supposed to be working together type thing. It's just that I had to do the off record work. The who the fuck is you guy work and shit, like completely. They had to red list me, make me look like the worst thing ever. To kind of keep me hidden, and you're supposed to realize it later on. You know. Me and my Pontiac Sunfire. Now, my Sunfire also is connected to a story with Davies. If you waited this long, you got the story. When Davies tried to slapbox me and I had to fight him to prove I'm not, banging or whatever the case, he gonna later on ask me, could he borrow my car or whatever? And he took it to New York or whatever. And he basically disrespected the shit out of me by taking my car and leaving it somewhere. And niggas had to go all the way to New York and get my car off the side of the road. So that's another reason why they start killing niggas on the ship, because Davies was being extra disrespectful after the matter because he just was not letting me be my own man. Like he was not allowing me to have nothing to do with gangbanging. He wanted me to gangbang so hard and shit. Like every time he talked to me, he wanted me to be a Crip. Like he wanted to recruit me. I'm like, my nigga, I don't do that shit. He just was not giving a fuck. He wanted me to be a Crip so fucking bad that he started doing shit to me and shit. But when I beat him up, he did ask, try to be my friend and like, Gibson, can I borrow your car and shit? Because I'm about to get out the Navy. So I'm like playing it funny. Mustafa's like, yeah, just play that shit. Just play that shit. Let him get the car because it's somebody behind this nigga and shit. Some white ass nigga behind this nigga. So let him do that shit and then you can get away free. You can get away scot free and shit. So that's all it was, just trying to shake these niggas, these politician ass niggas till I get to some holiness. I can purify myself and find God, the Most High, so that we can get back fighting these niggas because these niggas do not calm down. So I let him get my Pontiac Sunfire to drive it to New York. This nigga got a flat tire on the side of the road and shit. They had to go get it. Mustafa and I'm like, yo, we had to go get your car, my nigga, because, this nigga took your car and like drove somewhere with it and shit. Da 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 da. So also, Kylie was rocking. Davies was fighting Kylie on the metaphysical side of things. So Kylie had to rock, had to dance with this nigga and shit. Like had to fight this nigga. And then they went to go get my Pontiac Sunfire and shit. Because he want to fight and shit still. So yeah, Kylie protected me when in my ignorant days, when my eyes was closed off. I was still living like a human. I couldn't see. Also because I have a cracked head. I'm a crackhead baby. So my head is cracked, so I couldn't see. So she had to protect me, like you have a blind baby, a disabled baby that you taking care of and you don't know who the mother is, but you being the mother and shit, like who the fuck is like, where the fuck is this nigga mother at and shit? But you the Sunfire girl, like that you married to this man, but you mothering him and you're married to him at the same time. Like where the fuck is this nigga mother at? Mad as shit that you playing two roles and shit. So you gotta fight the Davies niggas you gotta fight Davies 1-on-1 because this blue ass nigga is tripping and shit. So you orange, he blue, and you fighting each other and shit. The fuck going on? So finally niggas, help you out, get you back to me and shit. And I got my Pontiac Sunfire back from him. Then there was another guy from Kansas City named Hope. he set me up too. Him and Judy Rodriguez. Judy Rodriguez from California too. And they set me up. They set me up. Try to cut me off. They set me up and shit by Hope having sex with Judy.